When I returned to class the next day, my gloves and hard hat still felt brand new, almost like props in a stage play. Yesterday, I had survived my first encounter with live current, and the memory of that glowing tester still haunted me. My stomach dropped every time I thought about it. But today was different. Today, Mr. Harris said, "Put the tools aside. Before you bend conduit or cut wire, you must first train your mind. Knowledge is your first defense." The desks were pushed together, and on the board was a list of words that looked more frightening than any weapon in a martial arena. The words stretched across the chalkboard: current, voltage, resistance, power, conductor, insulator, circuit, fuse, breaker, panel. 10 words, yet they felt like 10 mountains. Today, Harris said, you will begin learning the language of electricians. Without it, you are blind. With it, you can see. I stared at the word resistance as if it were a riddle carved into stone. My classmates whispered among themselves. Some already knew these terms in their own languages, but for me, each word was new. I wrote them down carefully, the letters looking like mysterious runes in my notebook. The lesson began with current. Harris drew a river on the board, water flowing between two banks. Think of current as the movement of electricity, like water flowing through a riverbed. He tapped the chalk. The unit is the ampere. Say it, ampere, the class echoed. Again, louder, ampere. I felt my voice trembling, but I joined in. For a moment, it felt like a chant in a martial sect, a spell that gave shape to invisible power. Then came voltage. Voltage, Harris explained, is the force, the push, like the height of a waterfall. Without it, current cannot flow. He wrote the symbol V on the board. Measured in volts. Say it, volts. We shouted. By now, my notebook looked like a war manual. Current, voltage, resistance. Harris turned, his eyes sharp. John, tell me, what is voltage? My heart skipped. The class turned toward me. I stammered. Voltage is the power? The class chuckled. Harris shook his head. Not wrong, but not right. Voltage is not power. Voltage is the push. The difference in potential. Write it down. My face burned. I scribbled furiously. Voltage equals push, but inside I smiled. I had been wrong, yes, but I was learning. Each mistake was a step forward. We moved on to resistance. Harris held up a piece of rubber tubing. Electricity doesn't always flow easily. Resistance is what slows it down. It is measured in ohms. Say it. Ohms. The word felt strange on my tongue, like chanting in another language. Ohms. The class repeated it until it stuck. Power. This, Harris said, is the result current multiplied by voltage. The work done. Measured in watts. He copied the formula into my notebook. P equals V times. My head spun. Math had never been my friend, but Harris's voice carried weight. Electricians who don't respect power end up stories in the newspaper. Like, don't be a story. The room grew quiet. We all felt the gravity of his words. At break time, I practiced the words under my breath. Current, voltage, resistance, power, conductor, insulator. My classmate Diego, from Mexico, laughed and said, John, you sound like you're casting a spell. Maybe I am, I replied. These words might save my life, he grinned. True, better than any magic. We returned to class, and Harris introduced the idea of the circuit. He drew a loop on the board, a complete path. Electricity only flows when the circuit is closed. Open it, and the flow stops. He pointed at us, like you're training. If you quit halfway, the circuit is open. No power flows. Only when you close it, only when you see it through, do you succeed. That hit me deep. I thought of all the times I had wanted to give up NESL in speech class, even yesterday when fear gripped me. If I quit, the circuit of my life would remain broken. I had to close it. Then came the quiz. Harris loved to spring tests without warning. Question 1, he barked. What is the unit of current? Ampere, we shouted. Question 2, what is the formula for power? My hand shot up. P equals V times I. Good. Question 3, what is resistance measured in? Ohms, the class answered in unison. Harris grinned. Better. But now, let's see how you handle real application. He pulled out a small training board panel with wires, a switch, a bulb, and a fuse. He connected the wires, then flipped the switch. The bulb lit up. This is a simple circuit. But what happens if I pull out the fuse? The bulb went dark. Why? Harris asked. I raised my hand. Because the circuit is open? Yes, he said, nodding. Electricity is unforgiving, but predictable. Learn the rules, and you master it. Ignore them, and you suffer. By the end of the day, my notebook was filled with new terms: fuse, breaker, panel, outlet, conduit, insulation. Each one like a sword added to my arsenal. I was exhausted, but my heart was alive. On the way home, I repeated the words under my breath: current, voltage, resistance, power. My tongue stumbled. My accent thick, but every word felt like a brick in the foundation of my new life. I wasn't just learning vocabulary, I was learning survival. That night, I sat at my desk, gloves and hard hat beside me, and I whispered the words again. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but tonight I felt a strange pride. I had not been defeated by words. I had bent them, shaped them, and made them part of me. This was only episode 2 of my journey, but already I felt the circuit closing. The power was beginning to flow.